Hello, my name's Sherelle and welcome to another day of the Owl and Coconut's free 30 days of mindful art. Today I'm joined with Heather Greenbank from Northern Light and we're going to be doing some mindful photography. So I'll pass this along to Heather.
Thanks Sherelle, really nice to be here and I've been invited to do this today because I've previously done a mindful photography workshop with Gemma from the Owl and Coconut, which we really enjoyed, so I've been asked back again to do this today, which is a great honour, so thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what mindful photography is, and we're also going to have a go at it together in a little while. So just to kind of go through the basics, I guess traditionally making photographs is often about snaps, they call it, so just seeing something, picking your camera up with your phone and just taking the picture. Whereas mindful photography is more about taking your time, basically. Taking time to stop and really notice something, perhaps really looking at it even for 30 seconds, which may not sound long, but when you try it, it's quite a long time. So it's about really noticing things in a different way, maybe looking from different angles at the object. And also, it's about a kind of attitude which is a bit different from traditional photography. And if you think about traditional photography, a lot of the words that I use are kind of shoot, capture, take. So they're kind of quite, can't think of the word, aggressive's a bit strong, but there's an idea of almost owning something and taking it. Whereas in mindful photography, we're looking to receive images. So almost the way our eyes receive light, it's about kind of receiving through the camera, receiving an image. So rather than the camera being the thing that's going to go and take something, it's a bit like, the camera's a bit like our eyes in that it's going to receive something. So it's a kind of slight shift in attitude and the way we see photographs, I guess. Another part of this is a bit like that whatever we choose to photograph, for example the stone, the idea is that the stone will be co-creating the image with us. So rather than us being like the owner of the picture of the stone, almost an owner of the stone, it's a bit like the stone will be co-creating this image with us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
Cool. So it's a bit of a different way of approaching photographing stuff. The meaning of the word photograph, to photograph means to paint with light, which I think is rather lovely. So it's also about using the light, you know, receiving the light and then painting something with it, creating something in that.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Okay. The way mindfulness comes into it, I guess it's about noticing really, about stopping, noticing, paying attention in a different way. So we may walk down the same road every morning to work or to get the bus or walking the dog, whatever it is, and we might pass the same wall, not really look because we're walking with our heads down or with a direction in mind. And mindful photography might be about taking your phone out with you, camera, whatever you've got, and walking slowly, maybe down the same path, but you might see something you've never noticed before.
Yeah.
And something that really jumps out at you. Like I took a walk around the block recently because I was working from home that day and I fancied a break. I took my camera with me and I just couldn't believe how many things I noticed that normally I just don't even see because they're just like in my neighbourhood and I don't stop and look. So
it's like that around the city centre as well, because usually I'm walking around like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and you kind of look up and notice things, it's actually beautiful looking up at the buildings and stuff. So I can imagine how sort of taking that moment to look and then use your phone to kind of take those photographs is really nice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think looking up is a really good tip because often, as you say, we're walking either down, head down, or we're looking at the phone or something. But to look up and suddenly think, wow, that's amazing, I've never noticed that. It's a good tip. So I think maybe we should try some. We could just give it a go.
Sounds good.
Okay, you up for it?
I am.
Good, good. So what we're going to try is we'll do a really short mindful grounding practice to kind of get us in touch with ourselves and our bodies. And then we're going to have a look at one of these stones, whichever one you choose.
Okay.
Does that sound alright?
That sounds good.
Fab. Okay. So if we start by just sitting with your shoulders fairly relaxed, and you can either close your eyes or just softly gaze downwards. And first of all, just turning your attention towards your feet and noticing the way your feet feel on the floor right now. And perhaps noticing the sounds around us. There's different sounds inside the room and outside the room. So just knowing that those sounds will be there and they'll be coming and going as we do this grounding mindfulness practice. So turning your attention back towards your feet on the floor. And perhaps a little higher in your body, noticing the way your body feels in the chair. And the different points of contact between you and the chair. And then just noticing how you're feeling in this moment, with your feet on the floor, body on the chair. And if any thoughts arise, or if your mind wanders off somewhere, just bringing it back gently and firmly to the sensation of your feet on the floor and your body on the chair. And then turning your attention back now towards your feet on the floor as we come to a close of this practice. And again, noticing the sounds, noticing what you can hear around you. And maybe noticing the light coming in through your eyelids. And then when you're ready, just gently opening your eyes. And if you need to have a little stretch or move about, give yourself what you need. Okay. And then I'm going to invite you to pick a stone. So you can have a look at this little group of stones here. And if anyone waves to you, talks to you, choose the one you want.
Here's a stone.
Okay, pick that stone. What is it about the stone you like?
Quite like the marbled effect and the colours that are on it. And I noticed there were sort of 3 razors of different colours on, so it sort of jumps out.
Yeah, so the marbled effect, the colours, and something about the texture of the different levels.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to go for this one because it looks nice and smooth. So, if you put it in your hand, so first of all, using your eyes and just looking at the different colours. As you said, maybe looking at it from different angles, moving it around in the light. Maybe turning it over as well to see what's on the other side. And really sort of exploring this with your eyes, maybe with your hands as well, noticing the weight of it in your hand. Perhaps the temperature of it, mine feels quite cool.
I'm going to say it's quite cool,
Right, yeah. And then perhaps with your other hand, really exploring the feel of it and the textures. And turning it round, exploring that. Noticing bits maybe you hadn't really noticed before about it. And noticing maybe what your mind's doing as well as you're doing this, because your mind might be making associations, it might remind you of something. So really exploring this, as if you've never seen one before. Like with the beginner's mind, so a bit like a child might pick something up and be really intent on discovering more about it. And when you feel ready, I'm going to invite you to start to look at it through your camera lens when you're ready. And I'm going to do the same. This can mean, in your hand or on the table. It's about starting to look at it maybe before we actually press the shutter. Just just exploring what it looks like actually through the lens now. Does it seem a bit different to how it seemed just with the eyes? Noticing how it kind of appears, how it's framed. You might want to frame it in a certain way. And when you're ready to press the shutter, just taking your time and feeling your way around really when it feels right. And maybe doing it from another angle as well. And really important to remember, one of the key things about mindfulness is not judging ourselves and not giving ourselves a hard time, because this isn't about making a piece of art or something amazing that people will want to look at necessarily. This is just about us and the stone making an image together without giving ourselves a hard time really. I've just become aware of the light because I'm actually casting a bit of a shadow on mine when I look through the camera, so that's really different to how I've seen it with my eye. And then I'm just going to invite you as well, Sherelle, to take a few moments to use embodiment with the stone. So what that means is kind of like imagining that you are or have the qualities of the object. So, you know, if you see kind of a cat stretching or a child playing, sometimes you can almost get the feeling of that. So it's almost like imagining you are or have the qualities of what this stone appears like. So perhaps then exploring it from that point of view, almost imagining being the stone and how that might be. And then photographing it again. And then when you're ready, just bringing that to a close. I'm really curious to ask you, what was it like doing that?
I quite enjoyed it. I think I'm quite naturally like I'll sort of see things like plants on the floor and think, oh, that's really nice. I remember I found like an orange leaf years ago, and I think I still got like this dried up leaf on the balcony just because I really liked it at the time. So I found it quite comfortable. I noticed when I was using the camera of the marks on my hands a lot more than I did before I'd had the camera. So that contrast of my like skin against the stone was very interesting. So I quite like some of the images actually. So no, I enjoyed it.
And that's a real co-creation then, because you're actually seeing your hand and the stone together and the way that looked, which you hadn't quite noticed before.
No.
Yeah, that sounds like a different kind of looking as well, different kind of noticing. And you said you do that anyway, you tend to find things when you're out and about, like the orange leaf, and you zoom in and notice something like that.
Maybe I should show an image actually.
Yeah,
I
let's
can
see.
see.
I've got any as well. Find one that you like.
So that was one of them.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I quite like. It almost doesn't look like stone on a hand. It almost looks like something else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, your mind might wonder what that is at first, trying to work out what that is. It's a bit abstract, yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I guess I was just looking at that one because I kind of like the difference between the stone and the table. You can kind of see the shiny bits on the table and on the stone.
It looks a lot rounder as well from that angle. It looks almost movement from it.
Some movement in it, yeah. So it's really amazing, I think, when we do it slowly and mindfully, we can pick up some different things than if we just picked up and snapped. There was a study by a woman, and I can't remember her name, I think it was Linda Henkel, in 2014, and she asked people to go around a museum and take photographs of works of art, and then the next day she tested them on what they remembered about the ones they took pictures of as opposed to the ones they just looked at. And they couldn't hardly remember the ones that they photographed.
Right.
But they could remember the ones that they'd actually looked at and observed. And she said, she coined this phrase, it's something like the photo-taking impairment effect. And she said, we're so used now to getting our phones and just snapping away, but maybe without actually really looking.
Yeah.
We're relying on our cameras or our phones to be our memory. So I just thought that was a really interesting study, and I guess it's kind of what we've just done now is the opposite of that. It's really looking, really kind of zooming in and paying attention. Thank you for taking part with that, I enjoyed that.
No, thank you.
I've got a book to recommend if anybody's interested. It's a really lovely book, this, and it's just a few pounds online. And there's some tips and exercises you can try in here as well, but I found that really quite inspirational. And brought along a calendar that I made a while ago, because I've been asked to bring some of my pictures in. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up. Okay, this is something, a picture I did in Victoria Baths in Manchester, which is a really old Victorian baths, and they had these mannequins for swimming costumes, and when the light came in through the window, it sort of made some really interesting reflections on the floor. So that's one. So what else I can show you? This is a branch with some snow falling on it that I saw one night out in the street light, which is why it's a bit of a funny colour. I just like the way the street lamp lit up the snow on the branches. Bear with me while I have a look for another one. This is some ice. I went to the park and this puddle had frozen over, and there was kind of some cracks in the ice where I'd walked, and then this piece of ice just really caught my eye, and I photographed that from a few different angles. Again, it's the ice, the light on the ice and the darkness in the background that I liked.
It's lovely, and they sort of are open for interpretation as well, aren't they? Because I probably wouldn't have guessed that from you describing actually where the image was taken, so they're really beautiful.
Right, oh, thank you. Yeah, and again, I like that about, it's a bit like the photo you showed, which it's not immediately obvious what the photograph is about. What else have I got? Okay, one more. This is some leaves, just some leaves on a lake. And again, I just really liked the quality of them, almost like a stillness. I suppose again you might look twice and think, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are some of my pictures, and I've really enjoyed doing this with you today.
Thank you for joining us so much. It's been a really nice experience, and don't forget to share your practice with us as well, so everybody has some sort of camera. Maybe try using something that's in the house or some stones as well, and let us know what you think of mindful photography. And thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.